I'll open up the East Lyme, Town of East Lyme public hearing tonight on the subject that is before us. This is the sign call, or at least the notice that was published. The notice is hereby given of a public hearing to be held by the East Lyme Board of Selectmen on Wednesday, February 21st, 2018, at East Lyme Town Hall at 108 Penn Ave, Niantic, Connecticut, immediately after the conclusion of a town meeting, which is to be held at the same location that began at 7 o'clock. That meeting has now ended, and this meeting shall begin. This is an ordinance prescribing the fees for building and demolition permits. Section 4 of the above entitled ordinance as amended on January 20th, 2016 is deleted, and the following is substituted in its place instead. 4. No permit fee shall be payable for any work to be done by or for the town. And all other provisions of the above entitled ordinance shall remain in full force and in effect. And that's what we're speaking on tonight, the proposal to strike the ordinance that we created on January 20th, 2016, and go back to no permit fee shall be payable for any work done by or for the town, for town buildings, etc. Would anyone from the public like to speak on that subject this evening? Yes, sir?
Good evening, Dave Godbout at 15 Cardinal Road. How you doing this evening? I'd first like to comment on the notice itself. That doesn't actually give a specific time. That I think that our open meetings laws require a time to be given. It just says at the conclusion of the town meeting that this occurred. I don't think anybody would expect that town meeting to have completed so quickly, as the gentleman noted before. That's got to be the quickest town meeting that we've held before. So I don't think that the notice is of the public hearing is properly noticed in accordance with our open meetings laws. So the legal validity of this proceeding is probably in question. The second thing I'd like to note is that the demolition code has penalties for individuals who violate it. So your personal property is at risk in reference to demolition permits, et cetera, et cetera. So the question of due process comes into play here. The question is, when does due process under our federal and state constitutions actually activate? Is it the time you're convicted? No, it obviously activates before you're convicted. Is it during your hearing or trial? I think that everybody would agree that yes, your due process rights are activated during your trial time. Does it activate when you're getting a summons or complaint or being arrested? And I think everybody would agree, yes, it does. It activates at that time period. It's active. Other people, I would also say that during the process by which ordinances are created and approved, et cetera, these also activate your due process rights. There was a recent case in reference to meetings by the court of New Britain. It was finalized this week with a denial for a motion to reconsider by the plaintiff. It was the case of City versus Meriden versus Freedom Information Commission, case number CV 17-603-5943S, wherein the court has basically crystallized prior orders of the FOIA Commission that noted, and have noted for about 20 years, that meetings between two members of a multi-member agency where they're doing the business of that agency activate the open meetings requirements of our open
Sir,
meetings
we're
law.
asking for testimony only on the building codes?
Yes, I'm giving a background.
We're not talking about police commissions and
No.
meetings?
I'm giving relevant testimony in reference to.
I'll let you go for another couple minutes.
I'll be done
Okay.
in just a little time period. In that case, there was, in the City of Meriden case, there was a meeting between a couple of individuals for the agency. The court has ruled that when two members meet from a multi-member agency, that activates our open meetings requirements. Now, going back into the history of the of this ordinance. I've noticed that on a December 5th, 2017 minute meetings of the East Lyme Historic Properties Commission meeting.
This isn't the demolition permit, sir. Again, I'm trying to correct you. This isn't the demolition permit. This is building fees for town buildings.
And
That's
demolition
all.
permits.
Well, the ordinance has that as its title on the top of the
Yes.
page, but we're not going to change all that. We're changing one line in the ordinance that has to do with charging building fees if we do work in our own building.
Yes, I understand
It
that.
has nothing to do with a demolition permit, which will come up in public hearing later.
Well, if you would allow me to continue.
I'll let you go another minute, but if you don't get on subject, I'm going to have to cut you off,
Yeah,
sir.
well, as an example, from that December 5th, 2017 minutes that dealt with demolition, it is noted that B. Lowe and B. Hobby, who are members of the Historic Properties Commission, met with Joe Smith to simplify the language of this ordinance. So what occurred was Mr. Lowe and Mr. Hobby, members of the multi-member agency, likely subcommittee of the bigger commission, had a meeting with Joe Smith in his office behind closed doors. It wasn't an open meeting as the law requires. So going from this example and extrapolating it to work in reference to what is now being considered, there's a history, a known history of the town and its agencies, sub-agencies, having meetings that violate our open meetings laws. And to be quite frank, this change to the ordinance kind of looks like it came from a meeting that was not properly noticed, that people weren't allowed to attend, that meeting minutes weren't produced, as in this December 5th minutes that was noted. The meeting that it notes between Mr. Lowe and Mr. Hobby in reference to the commission activities had no meeting minutes either.
Okay.
So I question whether this ordinance is the product of meetings that we weren't able to observe, get meeting minutes from, and understand why this ordinance is being changed the way that it is after it's been passed back in
Okay, I'm going to have to
January.
cut you off there. Thank you for your testimony. Would
And-
anyone else like to speak? Yes, sir. Mr. Smith. Sir, you're excused.
Joseph Smith, 73 Flanders Road. Just to clarify, I've never discussed the ordinance that we're talking to here with anybody on the historic, of any commission, Mr. Hobby, Mrs. Lowe, completely and absolutely unrelated. The only thing that ties them together in any way is the word demolition. So this is completely unrelated to what the gentleman was talking about.
We know that. Would anyone else like to speak? Anyone else like to speak? Anyone else like to speak?
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We'll take a brief recess and we'll start our Board of Selectmen meeting on time at 7:30, which is our regular meeting time, okay? If you all want to take a break.